How do you deal with literacy?
See, that's why I said you must
So
convert…
these go hand in hand.
No, you must convert most of it from words to signages, signs. See, right now, you say stop, it is a sign. You might have written stop, but maybe I can't read it. See, right now, you have a long name, it's in English, I can read English language.
Yes.
But if that is there on the street when I'm riding at a certain focus, then I can't read that, it looks like Russian to me. So it's important, clearly you say 0 kilometers, I can read that.
You're most intrigued by Russian language, it seems.
No, right now, you know, don't get me into international politics now. I feel this injury and death that's happening on the street could be significantly brought down if… See, the road curvatures in India are not engineered properly. One reason maybe it was done long time ago when nobody even thought about that, but today vehicles are traveling at a much faster pace and they can't take those corners.
Yeah.
Most drivers are not trained to understand at what speed they can take a particular curve. They're not… it is not built into them, they're just driving. And if they think they can go like this and if it doesn't go, they'll go and crash into something. This is one of the most common accidents on highways are this, they don't judge a curve and the speed involved. So, I think marking those curves very brightly, if necessary, solar-powered lights flashing in the night is important because without that marking, so many lives are going. I'll tell you one example. Coimbatore-Dindigul road was… Karur-Dindigul road, 70-80 kilometers, I think. They took some 4 years to complete it for some reason at that time, a proper highway, good highway they made now, it's a very nice highway. It's a national highway. You know, the day I went, one car with about 6 people, a family, one of those Innova type of cars, had crashed into a pit that they've dug 6 feet deep. And 6 people, all smashed up right there. So I stopped, looked at this and I said, what is this? Then I call up the local, first I call the local police officer, then I call the MLA and ask, what is happening? They could have marked this pit. All right, you're working, you have marked this pit. The MLA is saying, sir, what to do, sir? In the last 6 months, 40 people have died in that one pit. In one pit, 40 people die and still you can't put up a clear enough signage because it's a surprise. You're driving at a certain speed, suddenly there's a drop. So this is almost like people are trying to test your spiritual intuitiveness, whether you can really see things that you cannot see or not.
So I think but Sadhguru also is important that you declare it, your intent. I think we sometime, all of a sudden people decide to change lanes or stuff like that. I think it's important to declare your intent. One thing I've noticed that if we know in advance that somebody is turning or somebody else's intent, is much more easier to drive. So…
Definitely.
Yeah.
That usage of indicators, changing lanes, that is still not dropped into people's minds here. But the important thing is right now, these days it's come down, but in the last 10 years, I've had many incidents when you're going on your side of the highway, suddenly one guy is coming from the opposite side.
Yeah.
Which you're not looking for, you're not even thinking that he's going to come.
Surprises.
Suddenly he surprises you,
Yeah.
which is a very dangerous process. So essentially about following about rules, whether it's road or otherwise, we are still not a law-abiding nation in that sense. I will tell you my experience. Normally, when I fly back into Coimbatore, I will end up landing there 12:30, like somewhere between 10 to 1 generally, finishing the programs elsewhere and going back. Either I am riding back on a motorcycle, which is mostly these days, but otherwise in a car. So, a red light comes, I stop, no traffic. So behind me, ping, 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 I hear the horn. So I say, what? And then that guy comes here in one little moped and just does like this to me. Because he thinks I'm a fool, stopping there in the middle of the night. There is no policeman, what are you doing here? That is the message he's giving me. Then he looks at my face, oh Sadhguru, oh, photo edikalamma. Okay, I'm saying…
Yes, Sadhguru.
The thing in that lack of integrity is something that needs to be built. I think Saving these lives today, there are many immediate things like that. I said the mechanics of a vehicle, especially two-wheelers, and the road condition, and training for the human beings. But because we're building such a large nation, 1.4 billion people, you're not going to solve your problems just